So now for the answers to starter one, solving advanced equations. One of these equations has infinitely many solutions. Which one? And it says you must show your work. I did tell you though that one equation is a special kind that you don't know yet how to solve, so you don't need to show work for that one. Remember that when it says infinitely many solutions, you're going to end up with something like this, like x plus 6 is equal to x plus 6. Because it doesn't matter what number you put in for x. Let's say I say x is equal to 1. Well, 1 plus 6 is equal to 1 plus 6. But what if I say that x is equal to 3? Well, 3 plus 6 is the same thing as 3 plus 6. I could sit there and I could put numbers in all day long for x. A number plus 6 is always going to be equal to a number plus 6. So that means that there has an infinitely big number of solutions. So let's figure out of these four, which one would end up like that. I'm going to start off drawing my little river here through the middle so that I remember this is one side of my equation. That's the other side of my equation. So I've got 3 times the numbers in parentheses. So 3, because I got to do my distributive property, so I can jailbreak that x plus 8 and get it out of the parentheses. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm going to have 3x plus 24 on this side of my equation. Remember, I can't put together 3x's and 24 because they are not like terms. Over here, 3x plus 8 is just going to stay the same because I can't put together x's and 8's. So I'm already kind of noticing here that something's kind of going on kind of weird because this says 3x plus 24 is the same thing as 3x plus 8. Well, that's not true because this is the same thing here. But if you add 24 to the same thing, can't possibly give you the same answer as just adding 8. This side is always going to be 16 bigger because 24 is 16 bigger than 8. In case you don't believe me, you could have gone a step farther. Remember that you can't have a variable on both sides of your equal sign. So I could have canceled out that 3x by subtracting 3x. That would leave me with an 8. If I subtract 3x from this side, remember I have to do the same thing over here. 24 is not the same thing as 8. So that's another reason to tell me, okay, there are no solutions to this equation. No solution doesn't mean the same thing as infinitely many. Okay, no solution, you have your little, it's called a null set right there. Okay, so this isn't the one we're looking for. So this has no solutions, not infinitely many solutions. So I'm going to go down here, like my little lazy river ride. I want to get my equation to the point that it has x is equal to some number on the other side. So in order to do that, for C, we have to get rid of one of these x's. So I've either got to get rid of that 3x or that minus 3x. I personally, sorry, a little bit of a yawn there. I personally want to get rid of the 3x just because negatives are always where I went wrong when I was in middle school. So I'm going to get rid of that minus 3x, which with a plus 3x. That's going to cancel. Remember, I don't add the 3x's to the 8 because you can't add x's to an 8 because one's a number and one's a variable. So I added 3x's to this side. So I'm going to add 3x's to this side. 3x plus 3x is 6x. I need to bring down that minus 8. Now I've got my 8 from that side. Now I still need to get this x isolated. It's not by itself yet. So I need to get rid of this minus 8 with a plus 8. It's going to cancel. So that leaves me with 6x is equal to 16. How do you get rid of multiplying by 6? Of course, now remember, I don't want to cancel out the 6x now. I want to just get rid of the 6. So the 6 just sitting next to the x is multiplication. I'm going to get rid of that multiplication by dividing. That's going to leave me with just the x over here. If I divide this side by 6, sorry, I kind of ran out of room a little bit there. Let me make this a little neater. Okay, so let me go back to my 6x and my 16. So I'm going to get rid of that 6 by dividing by 6. That's going to leave me with just the x over here. If I divide this side by 6, I'm going to divide that side by 6. You are allowed to use a calculator. So I should have gotten somewhere along the lines of about 2.3-ish, if my multiplication is correct. Let me see, 12. Yeah, that's about right. All right, so this one does not have infinitely many solutions because it's only got one solution. X is equal to 2.3. Now it's time to look at, let me go ahead and just show you this D really quickly. Okay, pretty soon you're going to learn how to solve an equation that has an x squared. Now is not the time. So there's really not a lot of work that you can show for this one because you guys really don't know what to do in order to be able to solve this one yet. So we're actually just going to leave this one the way it is. Last but not least, that's why I gave you a little clue saying one of them was different. So B must be the right one, but let's double check. So I got to do my distributive property, of course. I'm going to do that after I draw my lazy river ride down through the middle. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 8 is 24. So this will be 3x plus 24 is equal to 3x plus 24. I've got something going on here, a little weird. 3x plus 24 is exactly the same thing as 3x 24. So no matter what number you put in for x, 3x's plus 24 is always going to be the same thing as 3x's plus 24. So that means that I can put any number in the planet that I want in for x. This equation will always work. So this is the one that has infinitely many solutions. So my answer should be B.